Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and welcome to Gracious Common TV, the tallest man in Black Africa. William Samoei Ruto's new year headache. As the year begins, William Samoei Ruto is facing very serious challenges in his administration. It is this that has made him to call a retreat of his cabinet in Nyeri. I understand from January 5th, he has called the cabinet for a retreat in Nyeri so that they can come, that each ministry should come with what he is calling minimum deliverables. Yaani kila wizara iseme ni mambo gani ambayo inaweza kutimiza kwa muda mchache inavyowezekana. This is after he has realized that the electorate is roasting up his government. Ametabuya kwamba wananchi wameanza kutamauka, wananchi wameanza kupoteza matumaini na serikali yake. So in this video, I want us to look at the likely things that he is likely to discuss in Nyeri, and also look at I want us to look at the irony, kinaya cha mkutano huu. William Samoei Ruto is calling this a retreat when he has already asked the ministers to come up with money with these retreats, with these seminars. But the funny thing, he is the one who is now calling the retreat. Remember, when he took over the government, he forced the ministers to ensure that the government has saved at least 3 billion shillings. Is it 3 billion or 300 billion shillings? Yeah, 300 billion shillings. But the same president who said that meetings should be held in offices, not in retreats, not in big hotels, is the same president who is reading his government. And you see here, what do you have? You have to pocket a per diem, night out, and very expensive undertakings. So this, if you ask me, is wastage of our resources. This is wastage of taxpayers' money, because we're at this time when people are crying, when everybody wants to see that there is something in the pocket, when people are talking about the price of commodities, when people are talking about the high cost of living, I think it is not the best thing. But if you ask me, I can clearly tell you that there are a number of things that are making this retreat to be taken at this time. The first thing, in my view, when you look at the venue itself, it is in the mountain. It is in Nyeri, Gachagwa's background. And this one tells you something, that people are becoming impatient, especially the people of the mountain. If you have been listening, if you have been watching what they have been saying, is that they are becoming disillusioned with William Samoei Ruto's government, because what they raise is that the cost of living is becoming very, very difficult every day. Watu wamekuwa na matatizo mengi sana na wanashindwa vile ambavyo wanaweza kukabiliana na hali hii. But the main agenda, I also understand, is they want to come up with a strategy of how they are going to deal with Raila Amolo Odinga's mission. Because Raila Amolo Odinga is a man on a mission in 2023. And among the two main agendas of Raila Amolo Odinga is to audit the 2022 general elections. So there is fear that if the elections of 2022 will be audited, I think Professor Bukati may end up going to jail because of what he did. Because what we have is a regime that is supposed to be the opposition leading the government. And the government that is now in the opposition is watching as people continue suffering. So that is one way. Well, that's one of the agendas that will be discussed in that meeting. The other agenda that will be discussed, because Baba, I've said, is a man on a mission. And the first mission I've said is to audit the 2022 general elections. The second agenda of Baba, which will be discussed even in that meeting, is the change of the constitution. Baba strongly believes that after now I think 12 years, we can know where the shoe pinches now. We can make the shoe. We can vision that is acceptable, that is beneficial, that is helpful to this country. kwa sababu kulingana naye kuna mahali ambapo kuna visehemu vifungu ambavyo vinafaa kubadilishwa ili wananchi waweze kunufaika na hii katiba ambayo inasemekana ni mojawapo wa katiba bora sana duniani. The other thing that I understand will be on the agenda is the issue of duty-free sugar, because the Western people, the Mulebe nation, is complaining, by the way, because for 3 months the government and the businessmen have been given a leeway to import duty-free sugar into the country. So other countries are going to dump sugar in Kenya. And what does this mean to the farmers from the Mulebe nation, especially the sugar growing farmers? It means that the price of sugar must come down. It means that what is happening, what is being produced locally must come down, because you agree that the price of sugar is going higher every day. But the funny thing is that the farmers are not benefiting. The farmers are crying, because when you go there, you realize that the way they are selling their sugarcane to the various factories, it doesn't correlate well with the price of the sugar in the supermarkets. So when they bring now imported sugar, then it means mkulima wa Mulebe nation ameisha, mkulima ambaye wa miwa ameisha, amekwisha kabisa. So this is something that they are going to discuss. The other thing I understand they are going to discuss is the controversy surrounding the GMO, because you see, remember the importation of GMO na ni jambo ambalo hawakupendelea sana, jambo ambalo halikuwapendeza sana. So they are looking for ways of how they are going to go around this GMO debate, because they have realized that the voters, the wananchi hawapendezwi na hali hii ya the GMO, and they have to come up with a way of handling. And I think when I look at this, I find something very sarcastic, because I remember Mwai Kibaki would call a minister in his state house office, and he would address him. He'd come up with ways of maybe say agriculture, and they would discuss how they are going to go about those what they are called the minimum deliverables. So instead of retreating to big hotels, Kibaki would rarely do this. Yes, he could do this rarely, but not quite often, because he didn't have to call all those meetings. Maybe he would call the transport CS, and then they would discuss how they are going to go about it, how they are going to achieve this. Lakini sasa ukiangalia utaona kwamba tuko na serikali ambayo ni tofauti kabisa, ni serikali ambayo inaonekana it's like ni serikali ya watalii. And they also understand they are also going to discuss the divisions in the government, because you agree with me, they are emerging some divisions in Kenya Kwanza government. I understand Gachagua and Mudavadi these days they are not in very good terms, and then you also realize that the ANC is dissatisfied with UDA administration. And when you look at, for instance, we look at Moses Mudavadi, Moses Mudavadi and his prime cabinet position is of little value, doesn't add value to the Kenyan politics, doesn't add value to the economy of this country. Again, there is also the agenda of the IMF and the World Bank. I understand the terms that they are giving William Samoei Ruto's government are very, very difficult. And in fact, the removal of subsidies in education, in electricity, in fuel, is as a result of the sanctions of the World Bank and IMF. And you see, Kenya now is like a country that is being run by the World Bank and the IMF. Lazima wafanye vile ambavyo hawa watu wanataka. And what William Samoei Ruto has realized is that these measures, World Bank and IMF measures, are hurting the common mwananchi that is losing. It is his administration that is becoming unpopular. Kwa hivyo ni jambo ambalo wanaweza kulizungumzia, and I understand it is one of the agendas. Again, I also understand that there is also this issue of wastage in public resources, because I understand there's a lot of complaint that civil servants are saying that they need their salaries increased because the inflation is very high and they're working hard now. When I saw William Samoei Ruto talking about the police, he didn't remember to consider the civil servants. So I think I understand there are some disquiet in the civil service because they feel that the cost of living is becoming very, very difficult. So they need some increment in salaries to navigate this. I think only time will tell. But I believe this meeting is not coming out in the right moment, because they are going to be in Nyeri for 5 days, and this meeting will be costly. It is going to cost the tax. So if you're here for the first time, remember to subscribe to Gashi's Command TV, the Tallest Man Black Africa. Just hit that red button, and you can even hit the notification bell so that anytime you upload a video, YouTube will always notify you. Have a blessed day.